Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to proceed with our regular session agenda, and it's approximately 6:32. Before we do so, I am obligated to read this. Due to the declaration of emergency, this meeting is being held pursuant to authorization from the governor's executive orders. Some or all of the city council members may participate in this meeting by teleconference as authorized by Executive Order N-29-20, issued by the Governor of California on March 17, 2020. Under further notice, there will be no public access to city council meetings. Interruption? Thank you, Miss. However, public participation is available in the following ways. Members of the public are encouraged to watch the open session portion of the meeting via live stream at 6:30 p.m. at www.communityspectrum.org or via the Calexico City Hall Facebook page at www.facebook.com/City of Calexico, capital C-A, California. You may also join the open session portion of the meeting via GoToMeeting from your computer, tablet, or smartphone at 6:30 p.m. at www.gotomeeting.com/join/ here's the number 649-885757. You can also dial in using your phone, United States toll-free, 1, area code 866-899-4679, or the other, 1, area code 646-749-3117. The access code today is 649-885-757. Okay. Meeting is called to order. Let's have roll call, please.
Mayor Hodge,
Here.
Councilmember Arriola Fernandez, Councilmember Risen, Councilmember Pacheco.
Here.
We
Okay.
have a quorum, Mayor.
We do have a quorum. Excellent. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now it's time for the mission statement. Yes. Together, we pledge to provide effective and efficient services in a courteous and respectful manner to improve the quality of life for all in our unique border community. Viva Calexico. All right, invocation. Please bow your head. Dear Lord, I pray that you guide us always. Satisfy the needs that need to be met during this meeting. I pray that we will be fruitful. Father, please guide us so that this meeting can be productive. Also strengthen us as we make tough decisions. Let us be effective and decisive. Amen. You may be seated. Closed session announcements, Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. City Council laid closed session on the one item of the agenda and seek direction for action.
Thank you, sir. All right, time for approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve this agenda?
Second.
All right, it was first by Councilman Risen? Yes? Second by Councilwoman Fernandez. Now it's time for announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on the City of Calexico website, www.calexico.ca.gov, the Friday following the City Council meeting. Community office hours with Mayor Hodge have been suspended until further notice due to the coronavirus. And now we have presentations. And the first one, presentation, please give me a second here, is to two gentlemen in our community. Bless them, they're in their early 80s. And one, I believe it's, boy, please forgive me. Yes, Pablito Rentiera has for the last 25 years offered his home as free for the youth to take boxing, to have boxing lessons and spar and exercise there. And he's been very dedicated to that, and he's helped the children, the youth of our city a great deal. The other one, Ignacio Pop Sanchez, is a coach, a boxing coach. He has coached boxing throughout the Imperial Valley, and he is settled in now specifically boxing in Calexico. These are two gentlemen that have given a great deal to our community. The wording on each one is the same, so I'll just read this once. And this is for both Pablito, please forgive my pronunciation, Rentiera.
Renteria.
Okay. I'll work on that. Ignacio Pops Sanchez. In recognition of your many years of service to the community in promoting safe and healthy neighborhoods throughout the boxing sport, we greatly appreciate your contribution towards improving our city by uniting efforts to face the challenges of deterring crime in our neighborhoods. Through your commitment to the community, you have helped to make our neighborhoods safe enough to allow the enjoyment of healthy outdoor activities. We celebrate your contribution to improving the quality of life in Calexico. The City of Calexico thanks you for commitment to community service and for inspiring others to follow your example of community spirit. Pablo and Ignacio, two young gentlemen in their 80s that have contributed a great deal to the community. So thank you very much, gentlemen. If you're watching, let's give them a hand from teleconference. Thank you very much. Okay. Moving on, we have for our other presentation of budget for fiscal year July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021, reflecting future revenues and corresponding expenses based on additional department requests. And we have our finance director, Carlos Lobatos, coming forward to give us that presentation. Welcome.
Good afternoon, council members, department heads. I'm just presenting an updated report per your request, showing the additional revenues to cover the additional departmental expenses.
Okay.
Basically, that's all we did, increased our revenues, so when those do come in, we are able to release those funds, and then we continue to have a balanced budget, and also the 5-year projection has been updated.
Okay.
And that's basically all the change. We wanted to reflect the change before we print out the packets, so
Okay.
that's all there is there.
Oh, I see. All right, that's simple enough. Any questions or
Any
comments?
questions?
No? All right, very good. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
That was a record. Okay. That concludes our presentations. Now it's time for public comments. Do we have any, City Clerk?
Yes, this is the time for the public to address the city council on any item appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city council. During the current state of emergency, public comments submitted via email by 5 p.m. deadline of June 17 will be read aloud and entered into the record. Any comments received during and after the meeting will be distributed to the council and retained for the official record. City Council is prohibited by state law from taking or action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. And I have four.
For public comments. Very good.
First comment from Mr. Francisco Aldana. I am sending this question for public comment. My client, David Dorame, rented his house from David Romero, the councilman. He left a $1,371.98 water bill, which had not been paid by David Romero, the city councilman. Why was his water not shut off after 2 months? And why is that bill that was in his name that you would not pursue David Romero, but instead pursue my client, David Dorame, who did not use the water? Why is this the city of Calexico policy? Thank you, Francisco Javier Aldana, attorney at law. The next message is from Mr. David Dorame. My name is David Dorame, and the owner of the home located at 705 Gonzalez Court, Calexico, for over 30 years, till June 9, 2020. Please be advised that the tenant for approximately 2 years was David Romero, ex-councilman for the city of Calexico. Furthermore, I have received a past due water bill balance in the amount of $1,371.88. I was very surprised to learn that Mr. Romero was allowed to continue for over 1 year without making a payment toward his monthly water bill payments, and allowed as a member of the city to continue accruing past due payments without any responsibility or consideration to the city of Calexico, and was a representative of the city of Calexico. I also understand that it is not normal or a standard for the city of Calexico to allow anyone, regardless of their political affiliation and or a member of the city council, be allowed to take advantage and abuse our city system and or assisted by others. I don't feel that I should be held liable for a member of the city not paying his abused and used water bill. Thank you very much for your understanding. David Dorame. The next one is from Mr. Ernesto Toledo. My name is Ernesto Toledo. I'm a resident of Calexico. My address is 1229 Dio Hinojosa. And I think that if one of our members of the city council is taking bribes, then our city manager is not doing his job correctly and is possibly involved. Therefore, it is my opinion that the city manager also resigns. Thank you. The next one is from Mr. Cesar Angel Figueroa Rubio. Good afternoon. Have all of you, with all due respect, I bring to you the views of various citizens of the city of Calexico and issues related to corruption and manipulation of permits for cannabis-based businesses. As is already public, and we know a member of this council was involved in acts of corruption, we also know from the media that this member of the council resigned. But there is something that worries us. What worries us is that this member who resigned due to corruption brought the negotiation to the table of the honorable council of this city, and he could not have acted alone in that negotiation. There had to be several council members, and it had to go through approval of the general administration. So, if the council member who brought to the honorable council's table the negotiation resigned, the question to the citizens of Calexico is, when will those who took part in the responsibility of having authorized these projects resign? If a problem of this nature is not nipped in the bud, it is possible that it will recur again. We want answers and solutions without excuses. And the final is for Chief Gerardo.
All right, as you're coming up, I'd like to make a comment. They have every right to say those comments, but I will attest to the integrity of David Dale. Mr. Dale is not complicit at all in any kind of corrupt behavior. Please, again, ladies and gentlemen, do not generalize from one person that was alleged doing wrongdoing to others. And no, this was the behavior of one individual and no more, or along with his cohort or his partner, and no other council member is involved. I will state that unequivocally. So that's all I want to say. Bye. Chief?
Yes, sir.
Police Chief Geraldo, welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen from the council and our viewers. With everything that has been going on regarding police officers' issues throughout the nation, I felt that I had to just give you, write down some of the thoughts that have been going through my mind, and actually also update you on what we are doing as a police department and what we have done to mitigate some of the actions that are happening in the east side of the nation. You know, and I wrote it down, so I'm going to try to, please bear with me. It says the following terms right now are police reform and police defunding being used today. They're not new terms. Well, the police defunding in its new context is, and it still needs to be defined because nobody knows what they're saying when it comes to defunding. Let's take a step back to the early 1900s when police departments throughout the nation began to find ways to make their officers and their services provided better for the communities. Thus, that's where the statement police reform came from. All of us here mostly remember the 1960s when the police reforms at the time were more prevalent because of what was happening in our nation. There was a lot of change, kind of too similar to what's going on today. You fast forward now to the 1990s a little bit, and again, we saw more police reforms happen in the city of LA during the Rodney King incident, and it's moved on. Since taking the oath back in 1990, I have seen our police training budgets get cut more and more in our state and throughout the nation. It's not a local issue, it's mostly a state and nation issue. Everyone is asking, how do you change the way police respond to ever-changing generations and corrupt political agendas? And I don't mean it here, just in general. Some of the answers are, number one, more training in police tactics. We had the community policing going pretty good as a nation. De-escalation training and stress reduction should increase instead of decrease. Police officers must think on the fly and try very hard to make the right decisions all the time. Police officers are human, and at times we make mistakes. A good police officer will learn from their mistakes and never repeat them again. Police officers see the most traumatic and ugly situations in the world. It is an unwritten rule that police officers should not and cannot seek mental health counseling, marriage counseling, some sort of way to talk to somebody. We have this superhero complex that hurts us because of the way the public perceives us and expects for us to react. The worst case scenarios that we see the resulting of this is somebody in the public getting hurt, and by far worse, police or firefighter suicide. Police officers have a high rate of divorce and alcoholism. Again, the stigma to ask for help. Some of us are lucky enough to have a spouse, a partner, family, or friend that is there for us at the end of the day when we're having problems. A lot of us have our religious views to help us too. Most police officers also have honorably served our country in the military. Police officers, just like our crazy firefighter brothers who run into burning buildings, are expected to run towards danger, and we cannot retreat until the threat is neutralized. You see, being a police officer and a firefighter is not easy. I am and will not make excuses for people in our profession who break laws and purposely go against policy and disregard for human life. I do not condone this type of behavior, but will stand up for my troops who do the right thing even though the public's perception is skewed. As a police chief, the way I must look at every situation is more in-depth and must be based on the type of call, circumstance, the laws, department policies, liability, and experience. My commitment to the citizens of Calexico, the city, my staff, and their families, and of course myself, is to continue to strive to do better and to attempt to send my officers to more training in this coming year. A police force without the proper training will cost the city more in the long run. In conclusion, the State of California Peace Officers Standards, California Post, and through legislation had already started mandating de-escalation training. Prior to COVID-19, some of my police officers had already attended or were scheduled to attend this type of training. Our department has already reviewed the use of policy, First Amendment assemblies, public recording of law enforcement activity, and control device policies. Here's what I gave my sergeants, and they're going through this. We already reviewed this at the beginning of the year. But this week, our policy contractor, Lexipol, suggested that we review the same policies again and to make sure that our officers understand it. I hope that funding for police training becomes a priority in our nation and state. And I believe that this will set the course for what is a true reform in law enforcement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Police Chief Geraldo. Very well said. Thank you, sir. All right, does that conclude public announcements? Thank you, City Clerk. Moving on to City Council comments and reports of meetings attended elsewhere. Councilwoman Fernandez, do you have anything to say or report today?
The only comment that I would like, well, one of them is congratulate the Heffernan District for their hard work distributing masks.
Thank you.
And
Yeah,
sanitizers. And
right.
I know that
It's
they've been even going to senior citizens' homes, apartments, and giving them out. So
Right.
I really like to thank them for the work
Right.
they're doing. And also, I would like to thank every applicant that put in for the remaining seat of Council Romero. I really do appreciate everyone that put in their application, and wish them all. Thank you.
Very good. Councilman Rice?
Yeah, these two persons that we recognize gave a presentation. Pablo Renteria and Pops, I've known them since the 80s, and they've been giving their time and efforts like unbelievable. So I double the recognition to them. They deserve all the kudos. And that's
Yeah.
about it.
Okay.
Just
Councilman Pacheco?
Nothing today.
Nothing today, sir. Okay, just a couple. First one is it's a Wednesday, June 24th at 6 p.m. The Neighborhood House is taking the leadership role. We're going to have a census 2020 car caravan. And it starts at 6 p.m. You got to get there right on the dot, and we will start the caravan at 6:30. They will provide balloons and any kind of other decoration for your vehicle. If you want to participate, and we're going to meet right behind us at Rockwood Park, if you want to participate, I don't know if you can get it through the email or you can get it here at City Hall, this particular form. And this is what you need to fill out so that you can qualify for being part of the 2020 Census Caravan. So please, COVID-19 has dominated everything, but there are other issues and other events and other important items to look at, and one is the census. I believe you can still do it online, by telephone, or by mail. Fill out the census and mail it in, because it means for our community, meaning the Imperial Valley, lots of funding for schools and transportation and infrastructure. And it also means that we get the right, appropriate representation in our state and federal legislatures, or just federal, excuse me. So the 2020 census is extremely important. Please, nothing to be afraid of. It's about 9 questions. It's short, nothing intimidating, and just go ahead and do it. Thank you. Now, I think that was that, and I just want to say, as mayor, this is my last full city council meeting as a chairman, and I tried very much to give 110% of myself to the mayorship. I hope my leadership and efforts and achievements have been perceived by you, the public, as successful. It's important to understand, though, that my successes as mayor are a product of collaboration. That's extremely important to know. There's no way that I could have gotten the things done without the help of other people here at City Hall and elsewhere. Accomplishments like cleaning and restoring the Rockwood Park, to funding shelter for the homeless, and many more other achievements. I want to thank first and foremost the council here for your support. You have been kind to me, you have listened, you've been understanding, and you've given me good advice, and I really, really appreciate that. So thank you. You guys are the greatest. I want to thank the administration, Mr. Dell, Mr. Figueroa, for just opening themselves up, and both of us being candor and being able to move and work well as a team, and the department heads, all of you. You've been very, very respectful and kind to me being a mayor, and I really appreciate that. Especially I want to thank, though, Norma Geraldo for, I was going to start speaking Spanish, porque, because she has been helping me such a great deal. She's the executive secretary, and I really appreciate her efforts, along with City Clerk Gabriela Garcia here, who helps me also a great deal. Their immense efforts on helping me. So I have enjoyed the challenges as being mayor, and looking forward to our next new mayor. All right, that ends that. Let's move on to city manager's report if we have any. Not today, sir. Okay. Consent agenda, how about Mr. Figueroa? No. All right. Consent agenda items. We have items number 4, the warrants. We have items number 5 and number 6. Is there a motion to approve all 3?
Make a motion to accept items 4, 5, and 6 on the consent agenda.
Is there a second? Second. Okay. Although we'll take an individual vote. Is that correct? Okay.
Mayor Hodge?
Aye.
Councilmember Arreola Fernandez? Councilmember Risen?
Aye.
Councilmember Pacheco?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Okay, it passes unanimously. Discussion and potential action items. Okay. I also want to thank all the applicants that put their heart into filling out the applicants. They were very thorough. Is there something else, City Clerk? No? You have a comment? Okay. All right, you want to, let me stop then. You want to go ahead and make that comment? No? Okay, I'll finish. Well, we're going to go ahead with the proceedings. So do you want to make the comment now? Make the comment now.
This comment is from Mr. Ben Horton, and he says at this time he would like to endorse Mr. Camilo Garcia for the appointment to the open seat for the City Council of the City of Calexico, California. The reasoning for my endorsement is character. You may ask what good character is. A good example was given by Arthur S. Adams. He stated that good character is that quality which makes one dependable, whether being watched or not, which makes one truthful when it is to the one's advantage to be little less than truthful, which makes one courageous when faced with the great obstacles, which endows one with the firmness of wise self-discipline. For about 2 years, I have served with Mr. Camilo Garcia on the Economic Development Financial Advisory Commission. As a member, I have found that Mr. Camilo Garcia does his research before he decides on the matter that is brought forth to the commission. What I see in Mr. Camilo Garcia is a man who holds himself to a higher standard than anyone else expects of him, and never excusing himself.
Thank you, by Mr. Horton. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, we do
Yes.
have one update to the staff report on this evening's agenda.
Okay.
We received confirmation, probably within the last hour, that the third candidate on the staff report, Mr. Orlando Espina, has withdrawn his application for the appointment.
Sorry to hear that, but he's withdrawn.
He's withdrawing, and we just received confirmation maybe within the last half hour, probably last half hour on that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. All right. Anyway, I want to thank everyone that put their applicants in. And I know you put a lot of time and hard work in doing so. They were very thorough, and this is a very, very tough decision to make. But I feel that we need to move forward, and I think we would benefit to having the fifth council member seated here with us as a real team player. Everybody had unique experiences and backgrounds, and it was impressive, the applicants. But only 3 can be chosen tonight. We have 3 in front of us, and 1 will be appointed. All right? So let me begin. Is there someone on the council would like to nominate Stella Jimenez?
Mr. Mayor, I think we need to take a little more time and maybe have a one-to-one with some of these people. If we could have them come in and get some answers and see how they would respond to our questioning, and maybe we can have a better handle of who we want to select, if that would be appropriate. We're not bound.
It would be appropriate.
Yeah,
It's
I
an
think
option.
if we could do that, maybe table it
Okay,
for next time.
All right, let's open this up for discussion. We can do that, right? Before we move forward in any means. Councilwoman Fernandez, what is?
Well, personally, I would have liked to get it over with and appoint someone today. But regarding that, our third candidate,
Orlando?
stepped down.
Yeah.
Maybe we might consider choosing the third one, or
Okay.
just moving on.
Okay, moving on.
And choose the candidate today.
Okay. Councilman Rising?
Yeah, I feel that we should do it as quickly as we can to cover up the footsteps of Mr. David Romero and just get it over with, just go forward. And I just believe that, if anybody wants to bow out for whatever reason, scrutinized or whatever, that's a chance that you take when you run for city council. So I believe that we should go forward with it today, and let's just do what we have to do.
Okay. All right, well, I am of the same opinion. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I
City
just wanted to
Attorney?
clarify a point. It's not made clear in the staff report, but the 1, 2, 3, those aren't rankings. Those were just.
No, there's no
top 3.
ranking at
Okay.
all. Let's
Correct.
make,
Just wanted to clarify that. They're not
Yeah,
ranked
thank
1,
you.
2, 3. These are just the top
Right.
3 that were selected by the
no
selection committee.
particular order. There is no ranking. There was none.
Is there a motion on the?
Okay, so I am in the same agreement, so you're in the minority, Councilman Pacheco. So I want to make sure we're legal here. We can move forward. Is that correct?
Correct. It's been agendized for appointment, so you can make that determination today or at a future date.
Okay,
The only limitation we have is we have to do it within 60 days of the vacancy.
that's correct. Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. All right, so once again, then we're going to move forward. Is there a motion for someone wants to nominate Stella Jimenez?
I'll make a motion to accept Stella Jimenez.
All right, the motion is made. Is there a second? All right, sorry, the motion dies from a second. So let's move on to Camilo Garcia. Is there a motion to nominate
Mayor,
Camilo
I
Garcia?
make a motion that we accept Camilo Garcia as the next city councilman.
All right, is there a second? Second by Councilwoman Fernandez. Then we will, take a vote, an individual vote.
Mayor Hodge,
Aye?
Councilmember Arreola Fernandez. Councilmember Risen,
Aye.
Councilmember Pacheco.
Aye.
All right, it passes unanimously.
Mr. Mayor,
So, congratulations.
Correct. Just to get clarification, in the staff report too, it talked about a potential lifespan be a condition, so I want to get clarity whether or not that's going to be required.
All right, can
It's-
someone
it's in
come
the
up?
It's in the staff report, so I want to just make sure
Yeah,
that,
it's a recommendation that
Correct.
we selected and he would take a life scan result, reviewed and approved.
Okay, is that what you're referring to?
there was a recommendation made by the selection committee, so I want to get clarity
Yes.
whether or not that's going to be a requirement or not.
Yes. I don't know.
Well, it's part of the recommendation, right, Mr. Campos?
It looks like it was a recommendation
Yes.
of the selection committee, but.
So does that stop us for today?
The way the selection committee wanted to make that a condition of that. I wasn't part of the selection committee,
Right,
but
sir.
that's my understanding based on the staff report.
I believe that we should,
Last time I know there was a recommendation, but I know council last time did waive that, so it's up to the.
I believe we should waive that, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Councilwoman Fernandez? All right, let's waive that.
Okay, let's just take a motion on that since.
You want to
we'll
take
get
a vote?
clarity.
Okay,
I'll make a motion that we waive the live scan.
okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, take an individual vote.
Mayor.
Aye?
Member Arreola Fernandez. Councilmember Risen,
Aye.
Councilmember Pacheco.
No.
Okay, it carries 3-1. All right, and Stella Jimenez nomination died as of a second from not having it be seconded. And now, did we have someone that nominated Camilo? Was that you, Mr. Councilman Risen? Okay, and is there a second? We already voted on it? Whoa, okay.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
took a.
That
the
was a
motion-
lapse.
You're so excited.
Yes, we
Yeah.
have a motion
Prevagen,
for
I
Camilo
have to take
Garcia,
that.
and we were just getting clarity on the recommendation.
Yeah,
of the
you
life
guys are
scans.
throwing curves up here. Okay. All right. All right then, that's right, because I was about ready to say congratulations, Camilo Garcia. And I don't think we're going to we're going to welcome him, and he's going to be a good team player. So thank you. Moving on. Agenda item number 11. Authorize city manager
We're number 8.
Number 8, excuse me, I'm sorry. Authorize city manager to sign agreement for professional services between the city of Calexico and HDL companies for cannabis management services.
Yes, Mayor, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Dale.
HDL Companies provides the city of Calexico with sales tax support and also property tax support. What I was not aware of, they also do cannabis support. And they have extensive knowledge and experience in this matter all the way from the state of Colorado when that was the first approved over there. They started doing review of companies and extensive, more than the state does in terms of background checks. They check employees, they check employers' backgrounds and so forth. And given the circumstances here, I think it would be prudent for the city to consider a company to come in and do that. The staff report kind of reads that it would be from now on into the future, but my recommendation to the council would be to approve the HDL companies to do all of the existing companies, even the ones with the current CUPs, just given the current situation that we're in.
So
Now-
at first, we weren't going to consider that, but you're saying that it's best. It makes sense to me to do that.
Yes, yes, it will cost the companies several $1,000s. And I think we have $8,500 listing here in the staff report. So there is that to consider. But you know, given the circumstances, it might be prudent to go and just go check all of the companies that we have, even the current approved CUP companies.
So this particular authorization does not include your comment there. on that.
Correct. It looks like, and I'll defer to our city attorney, but I believe that the way the staff report is written, it would be from now on. Whereas the difficult part comes into play with your decision. Do you want to go back in the past and review the current approved CUP companies?
Correct. So we have to amend it and add it.
If you wish, if that's
we
your
wish.
pleasure and you think it's appropriate.
Okay. Is any council?
Yeah,
Any
it makes sense. It makes
does.
sense. It keeps us out of the wheel, and we have an agency coming in and doing all the background checks for us and making sure our T's and I's are dotted and
Yes.
make sure that they're doing the work that they're supposed to be doing.
Correct.
And
One less
anyone?
headache for the finance,
Excuse me?
one less headache for the finance department.
It gives an oversight to the
Yeah.
process, essentially. Yeah.
Okay, Police Chief, Geraldo?
So as your police chief, and when all this process of the cannabis started, I was not, I was part of the police department. I was in my current position. But when this came out, I totally agree with it, and Mr. Dale asked me how I felt, and us going back is probably the best thing to do with, in light of all the current events that we had in our city. We need to go back and make sure that everything was done right. If we missed anything, because it's all new for us, it's all new for everybody. So if we go back, it's only going to put us more transparent. It's going to help the police department. It's going to help finance. It's going to help everybody that's got an in on this.
There's a transparency now.
Yes, I mean, at this point,
It's
you know,
comprehensive.
it's something that I believe that it needs to be done. There is no way out for us not to do this. I think it would be very irresponsible as a city not to go back and do this.
Yeah, and I think the public is entitled to this.
Yes.
I really think so.
So thank you. Please consider it, because that's my recommendation too.
All right, very good. We have two important people that recommend that. So once again, you understand that we need, if we want to amend this and to include existing cannabis licenses and facilities along with future applicants to be under the umbrella of
It'll clean everything up, Mr.
HDL.
Mayor. It'll
That's
clean
right.
it. It'll clean it all up.
That's right. Anyone else have a different opinion on that? No? Totally agree? Okay. All right, then. Is there a motion to authorize city manager to sign agreement for professional services between the city of Calexico and HDL companies for cannabis management services?
So
with-
move.
With the amendment of
Bringing back.
bringing back and including existing cannabis facilities along with future applicants.
So move.
All right,
second it.
second. All right, let's take a vote, please, individual vote.
Mayor Hodge,
Aye.
Councilmember Arriola Fernandez, Councilmember Risen. Councilmember Pacheco.
Aye.
All right, very good. It passes unanimously. All right, I don't know how I skipped to 11, but I took my private jet or whatever you call that. Okay, subject, item number 9, award the bid proposal from Air Conditioning Guys in the amount of $32,644 and authorize city manager to sign the agreement for the replacement of 2 air conditioning heater package units at the Caminera Memorial Library. And we have Lizette Legaspi, acting librarian, to give us some background.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Welcome.
City council members and staff. We have 2 air conditioning units that are in dire need of replacement at the library. They're not working well, so we went out to bid and we received 2. Each bid had 2 options, and Air Guys was the one with the lowest bid.
Okay.
We're using capital improvement funds for this expense, so it's
Oh.
not affecting the general.
Not
general
affecting
fund.
the general fund. That's good.
Mrs. Legaspi, it says option 1 and option 2. We're going with option 1.
Yes, because
Yes, Air Guys.
because of the amount we have to spend, option 1 is the only option that we can afford.
You're not gonna afford it.
40,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
It
so
makes sense.
is it hot in there now?
Not so hot right now
Uncomfortable?
because the doors are closed.
Oh.
But when we were open, it was like a sauna in there
Sure.
during the summer for quite a few summers.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions or comments? No? All right then. Is there a motion for subject item number 9?
Make a motion that we accept number 9.
All right, second? Second. All right, let's take an individual vote.
Mayor Hodge.
Aye?
Councilmember Arriola Fernandez. Councilmember Risen.
Aye.
Councilmember Pacheco.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Moving on to item number 10. Subject, adoption of a resolution approving a conditional use permit for a cannabis micro-business facility located at 2403 Van de Graaff Avenue, Calexico, California. All right, welcome, Mr. Velasco. How are you today, sir?
Doing good.
Good.
So this item is being brought before you because it failed the Planning Commission. And the applicant, per the Calexico Municipal Code, responded within 10 days requesting an appeal of the Planning Commission's decision to deny the CUP. This item is being brought before you. We recommend that you debate and vote on this resolution. If you would vote yes, it would override the decision of the Planning Commission, and it would issue them a CUP for a micro-business. So the conditional use permit is being requested, UA 2020-05, for a micro-business facility at 2403 West Van de Graaff Avenue. It's the old Calexico Event Center, right there off of Cole and Van de Graaff.
Oh, I see.
So the applicants already have an existing retail facility that they're under construction at this time, doing what we call a tenant improvement. They're calling in for inspections. So their retail component has already been approved, and they're working towards opening it. This particular license application would be for distribution, manufacturing, and cultivation. So the distribution would be distributing cannabis outside the city limits of Calexico. That's at about 520 square feet. Manufacturing would be an extraction room of 754 square feet, a tank room at 534 square feet, and then we have a cultivation area of, there's 2 flower rooms, each at 670 and 700 square feet respectively, a vegetation room of 670 square feet, and a trim room of 528 square feet, a dry room of 315 square feet, and a clone room of 195 square feet. The remaining area of 275 square feet would be for general use, office and electric room. So the project review committee, this project was sent out May 12th, and we have not received any comments on it. It was brought then forward to the Planning Commission, where the motion failed to receive enough votes to be passed. So per Calexico Municipal Code 17.11/1040, excuse me, that was the wrong code. The applicant submitted a request to appeal the decision of the Planning Commission. Gabby Garcia, the city clerk, received the letter, and we compiled the staff report in accordance with the Calexico Municipal Code. So in terms of CEQA compliance, this would fall under what we call a Class 1 exemption, existing facilities. It'd be 15301 of the CEQA guidelines. Basically, a notice of exemption would be granted, would be issued by the city council due to the fact that this is an existing facility and they're just making partitions and there's nothing intensive going on that would affect the environment. So we recommend that you vote and debate on it.
Not to dismiss or disrespect the Planning Commission, are we at liberty, and could you be able to answer, maybe in a general sense, why they said no to this?
There was one person who abstained, and the abstention was a recusal because the individual, the chairperson, Michael Main, left the chambers. And then we had 2 votes yes, which was Commissioner Zarate, Commissioner Zamaripa, and then we had 1 absence, which was Dr. Quota, Commissioner Dr. Quota, she was absent, and Commissioner Salazar voted no.
Oh, okay.
So therefore, it failed to receive enough votes to be approved.
Comments, questions?
I would think that they would bring it back to the commission when we had a full vote there, but they just voted one time and that was it.
Yes,
Bring it to the council, they didn't want to take it back, or?
So the way the Calexico Municipal Code works is that you get your shot at the Planning Commission, and then if it fails, then you appeal it to the City Council, and you have to let us know within 10 calendar days of your intent to appeal it, and then it goes to the City Council, and so what you guys have is the last say on it. Your decision here is the last say on this matter. So a concern that was brought up by Commissioner Salazar was the not enough parking spaces. So I actually went out with our lead building inspector. I go out with him to inspect cannabis businesses as they progress in their construction. We went out to the site and I looked at the striping is kind of bad. They're going to restripe, but for that whole property, there is well in excess of parking spaces needed to accommodate the uses.
I know that building, yes.
They've met all the requirements. You've checked off all their boxes and they're good to go, and it's under no CEQA, so they're good to go. I think it's a good application. They're going to distribute, manufacture, and cultivate.
Yes, and then so the building would be split up. They're same, in essence, the same applicant, but you're allowed to have 2
Same address.
on the same address. So one is retail, and then one would be the micro business. And so they would operate in the same building separately in accordance with Bureau of Cannabis Control regulations, separate doors and entrances.
Entrance.
Does the retail fall in the 12 companies that we have?
Yes, sir. It
Fall
does.
within the 12?
It does.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Well, I see that there's 2 ayes and 1 no, and they didn't get the 3rd vote because they had an absent and an abstain. So I see that they were going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have a right.
Yep.
The owners, right?
Yep.
The people that are investing in this have a right to appeal.
Yes, they do. They have a right to appeal.
So they've appealed to us.
They have appealed. They submitted the appeal to the city clerk, and she informed me of it. And I sent them an email saying and a phone call, and I let them inform them that we would be bringing it to the city council.
Okay.
What is the planning director, what's the recommendation again?
So the planning division has reviewed the application. It's complete. It's in compliance. They filled out the application. They've done their live scan. So they are in compliance with the application requirements.
And Chris, they have 6 months to complete and
Yes.
finish,
Yes.
so they can
generally
start.
what we do is, let's say you're still building it, like their retail is on an extension because they're building it on the inside. So they have to, basically that building was a shell. And so right now what they've been doing is they're putting in new insulation, new partitions, new electrical. There's several inspections that need to happen. There's plumbing, electrical, insulation, there's like the actual framing, the drywall. There's a whole set of inspections that needs to happen when a building is being, an intensive tenant improvement is happening. So they're undergoing that process right now.
They're investing in their project.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Fine.
I'll make a motion that we accept this.
Second?
Second by Councilman Pacheco. Very good. Let's take an individual vote.
Mayor Hodge,
Aye.
Councilmember Arriola Fernandez, Councilmember Risen,
Aye.
Councilmember Pacheco.
Aye.
Very good. Passes unanimously. Thank you. Item number 11.
I'm still here for that one.
Oh, you are.
You get me twice
Okay.
tonight. So,
Just automatically looked over to Miguel Figueroa.
or
Okay,
does he
but-
want to?
No. Okay. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's a resolution of the City Council of the City of Calexico making findings, adopting a mitigated negative declaration, and adopting a mitigation monitoring and reporting program under the California Environmental Quality Act for the New River Improvement Project and approving the project. State Clearinghouse number 202-0049056. Thank you. You may
Okay.
proceed. Lots of background.
So, this has to do with the New River. Basically, what you're going to be doing tonight, if you were to approve it, which Planning Division recommends that the City Council approve this resolution, you would be making the following findings: and adopting a mitigated negative declaration under CEQA, adopting a mitigation and monitoring and reporting program, which is part of the, so I'm going to use a lot of lingo here, it's a part of the MND, or the mitigated negative declaration. In order to mitigate the negative stuff that would come out of it, you would have a monitoring program. So you would therefore be approving that monitoring program. And then lastly, you would also be approving the project in general. And so the proposed project requires several permits and entitlements from several agencies, which we've done extensive outreach to. California Water Board, Caltrans, EPA. There's a whole host of, we've sent sort of notices to all the properties adjacent to the site. So this has been a really big collaborative effort between Miguel, who's taking the lead, and me, who's doing the sort of the environmental clearance. So this is a pretty large project in that sense. So the project consists of three components. One is a collection of trash through a screen at the international boundary with Mexico. Two is to divert and encase the river from a point downstream of the international boundary to a point downstream of the eastern boundary of Calexico in order to bypass the southern area of the city of Calexico. And three would be a pump back system to take treated water from the existing Calexico wastewater treatment plant and discharge it into the New River at a point near the proposed diversion and encasement. So the backup basically goes into the projects or the steps that we had to do in order for CEQA compliance. We reviewed the mitigated negative declaration, found it to be in compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act, as was the mitigation, monitoring, and reporting program. So it was actually issued to the public, and the comment period was April 24th, and it ended April 25th. It was posted at the county clerk. Due to COVID restrictions, we actually literally had a table outside with the mitigated negative declaration for 30 days. So I want to commend Monica Silva for doing that every day, taking it out there and placing it. So we've been really proactive at this. And we received one comment from Caltrans that any work done in the Caltrans right-of-way would require an encroachment permit from Caltrans. We've done our AB 52 consultation, the tribal consultation. We reached out to all affected potential Indian nations and have not received any comment on this matter. So we recommend that you guys, the City Council, approve the resolution. And with that, I'll give it off to Miguel.
Welcome, Mr. Figueroa.
Thank you. So there are some key things with the action that you're going to take tonight. Basically, the action that you're taking tonight is going to be the cornerstone for the actual construction of the project. And the reason that I say this is because if you've been following the press and the news outlets, the $28 million that we've been hearing, of which 18 million are going to come from the state's general fund and 10 million from Prop 68, will be part of the state of California 2020-2021 budget. Obviously, until the budget is formally and officially presented, we will know, but Assemblyman Garcia has made a public statement in terms of his confidence that this will happen. That is why this is a very, very important step. The three projects that were described by Chris are part of the New River Improvement Strategic Plan that you folks already have vetted and participated in the process on. The other thing that I want to share is that I've been actively communicating with the Department of Water Resource and the Salton Sea Authority. Why? The 10 million will be funneled down through the Salton Sea Authority, the 18 million to the Department of Water Resource. The reason that I've been participating and collaborating with them is because as soon as the monies are available, we need to make sure that the project begins as soon as possible. There are certain processes that the City of Calexico can assist in, so we don't delay the time in the bidding of the project and the potential first step to get the project up and running. This is I would say a day that will be remembered depending on your action, because it marks the actual implementation of what's been long overdue for obviously Calexico, but the rest of Imperial County. And this will open the door for many, many more opportunities to seek resources to finish the project. So with that said, it's for this board to consider its approval.
Okay. Questions or comments, council?
Long time coming.
Yep. Nope. Okay. We're going to thank you, Mr. Figueroa.
You got a feather for your hat there, Mr. Figueroa? Yeah?
All right. Is there a motion then?
Make a motion to approve.
All right, for item number 11 pertaining to the New River Improvement Project. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we'll take an individual vote.
Mayor Hodge,
Aye.
Councilmember Arreola Fernandez,
Aye.
Councilmember Risen, Councilmember Pacheco.
Aye.
All right, this one passes unanimously. Congratulations. Very important turning point. All right, very good. Now that ends or do we have another one? No. Do we have another one?
That's it.
That's it. Oh, okay. That is it. So, any future agenda items? Councilwoman?
Not at this point.
Not at this point. Councilman Rison? Councilman Pacheco?
No.
Nothing for me either. Okay. Someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
All right, motioned and then second it. All those in favor, just say aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned.